So, hello everybody, and welcome to Zandvoort, the next race of Axxel Racing season number 2, race number 2. Yeah, pretty interesting track, hasn't been on the calendar since 1985, I think. So, for all the people in our lobby, it will be as new as for every real F1 driver. And let's see what's gonna happen on this track. Yeah, 1985 last race. I prepared a few informations about some drivers beforehand of the race, so we can fill some bland moments like outlaps or session pauses. Rob for pole, the first one to exit the pits, and now on his outlap. In the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri right now 4th in the constructor standings, and I think Rob for pole 5th with 10 points. Other people now going for their outlap. We're almost at our first push lap. And let's see what Rob can do. Very fast right-hander, but a lot off from the apex. Way better second and third turn. Really nice exit out of that short left-hander. Now approaching the fast right-hander. Pretty good, but could have been way more to the left side of the track. Use a lot of curb there. Into the DRS zone. The rear dancing a bit, but it should be fine. And that's a pretty acceptable first push lap as he passes the Aston Martin. Into the last corner, into the banks, onto the finish line with a 1:10.9. I think this Ferrari of control is right now also on his push lap. Can't see it properly though. General Buckles. Starting his lap. And that's 10.6 by Darkfly here. 3 times faster than Rob for pole. Control bubble, yeah. A lot slower than everybody else so far. Almost took 1.5 seconds off. No, over 1.5 seconds actually. Gonna be right back, I have to change one setting real quick. Back again at it. As the Aston Martin of OJ McLaughlin finishes the lap on a 1:11.7. So Darkfly still on provisional pole position in Q1. A lot of people still staying in the pits. And General Buckets with a 120. What happened there? As an Aston Martin and Red Bull approach the main straight onto the finish line, DRS wide open. Also a 129. There, something happened I didn't see. And now to the Aston Martin, to the Williams of Shockey 70. Let's see what lap he can put in. And it is a 1:10 second right now on the front row with XRT Darkfly so far. And he spun. No DNF though. Lucky, lucky. Lucky, lucky. And now, as we watch Sam doing his first push lap in the Alpine. Alpine and Aston Martin currently tied for the Constructor Championship on place 1. DRS wide open into the first DRS sector. Now into the slow last left-hander. As he approaches the banks, fast right-hander. DRS opening now onto the main straight. And that is position 4 for now in Q1. Let's watch Face Fighter, the Mercedes. Mercedes currently at 0 championship points. Oh! He spun. No terminal damage again. Leave space for the Aston Martin of Raoul, and Raoul with a 1:10, 1:11.2. And we actually have some information prepared about Raoul as he puts in his first time. We asked some questions to a few of the drivers, and he actually is on the controller and puts in the 4th fastest lap. Pretty impressive. He seems to have a lot of control into these slow chicanes and knows exactly when to maximize his speed. That's what he told me, because his favorite track is Baku, so he knows what he is doing on these slow corners and might gain a lot of time there. As we now watch the Williams of Raver Chile onto the main straight, and a 1:11.2 also, only 200ths of Raoul. And it's actually interesting to say, because he is actually on a steering wheel, so there's actually not much difference between Raoul and Raver Chile. They're pretty close with their times, so it's actually impressive how good you can be on the controller if you know how to maximize traction out of a corner and know what you are doing. As the second Aston Martin is now on his push lap. Let's watch him have this go. Fast right-hander. As the Ferrari almost didn't leave enough space, he went off track a bit. Approaching the DRS zone. DRS wide open now. As he is on his way to finish his first lap. Rear wing, a bit of a dance going on right there. Great exit. Good grip, ran a bit wide, but that should be fine. It doesn't matter all too much. Few kph, and that's P7 for now. Let's watch Star Max Lord as he puts in his first lap time. It's actually a big difference. Okay, wait a second. Just a suggestion. Okay, wait, give me a second right there. Yeah, I actually forgot to turn these on. I meant to, actually. I'm sorry. So let's put the gap on fastest lap overall. This is a much better experience for the people right now. I'm sorry for the rough start, but it should be way better now. Star Max Lord, as he is approaching the last corner. Opening DRS now onto the main straight. With a 125. So I wasn't paying attention, but I think something spun around. Or he lost it at some point, certainly. Because the gap we see between P1 and P15 is actually quite huge. It's a 3-second margin. Wouldn't expect that. But there's still time to improve. And also we have a wide variety of racers in here. Oh, he went off track. Star Max Lord as he is on his in lap, I think. Or does he go for a second push lap? Looks like no. Looks like it. As there is a car off, I couldn't see which one though, fast enough. It's an Alpha Tauri. As he re-enters the track. Probably was the Alpha Tauri of Rob for pole, yeah. It was. Hopefully it didn't block the Ferrari or Mercedes right there. As Star Max Lord approaches the last corner again. Up to 8th gear, and that is a way better lap. 1:11.2. There's a lot of people around that timing from General Buckets till Raoul. They are all pretty close together. I think Darkfly and like probably the top 4 are safe for Q1 now, but P5 till probably P14 have are so close together. There's a lot of things going on, and I think the leaderboard is gonna mix up a bit again as Selfie Sunny went off track into the last corner, but he's gonna pit anyway. So important to save these tires after you finish your lap, because you don't want to use them all too much and don't want to use probably even more than one set of softs, because it's just so important to have maybe 2 sets into Q3, so you get one more try than all the other guys on this roster. As now everybody is entering the pits except General Buckets, who just started his next push lap. Way better this time, but onto the serrated curbs. But he still got the traction in. Could have gone a bit wider there, but still a good exit. Into the middle sector. Approaching these fast right-handers. Very hard to do at a proper speed. Took just the right amount of curb. Good braking point into this turn. As he approaches the DRS zone. Good exit on the curb. Now this part is just so important because it's so technical, and it's so important to have good tires here, because of the grip. You can't imagine how much time we lose. Onto the last fast right-hander, and he went off track. So sad to see. I don't know if he used fresh softs, but if this is just so sad, so sad. Still P14 though. Still P14. Let's watch the Mercedes of Face Fighter now. Who seems to be on his push lap. A bit too much curb, has to break down really hard here. Short shifted into 7th gear and spun around on the exit, on the entry to the last corner. As the Mercedes of Goyet puts in another fast lap, faster than Darkfly by 1.2 tenths. As simply YouTube slows down a lot there. But the McLaren doesn't want to pass. I don't know if the Mercedes behind is on a push lap. If so, that might be a big blockage there. I don't know if he went past properly there. And if he's on a push lap or in lap. Oh, he's on in lap, no? Yeah, he's on in lap. Okay. Now we watch Stealthy Sunny as he approaches the yellow sector, and his teammate spun off, I think. Yeah, Star Max Lot spun off, probably. As there is no space! What is going on here? What is going on? Simply just griefing around a bit. I think it's probably not on purpose, but that was a really, really messy corner. And if Stealthy Sunny was on the push lap, that ruined his lap. That ruined his lap. As Frankenstein retired from the session. What is going on right now, everybody? As Control Bobby is approaching his teammate again. Q1 already ended. Now watch the last few lap times in. As Control Bobby can't improve. Let's watch AJ Sam here. Into the DRS zone. Really nice to the white line on the apex. Engine braking. Great line into the last corner. DRS open now. And he wins into the pits. Okay. He's through though, so I think that's it, yeah. That's the end of Q1, it seems. I don't know if Stealthy Sunny can do everything here. No, he went into the pits, but he's P6 anyways. He didn't went to the pits, but P6 anyways. He is out of Q1. And that's the end of Q1. Pretty interesting result, but a really messy ending with the Ferrari going slow on track and forcing other people off. I think there has to be a small discussion there, because I don't know what happened, as the fastest lap in the Mercedes is a 1:10.4. For now, I think Mercedes has 0 constructor points, and it's actually great to see one of them at least high up, as the Alpine of Darkfly is in 2nd position. Yeah. The Aston Martins on 11 and 8, battling with the Alpine team right now, as AJ Sam's only in P12, but it was only Q1, so let's not judge too harsh right here. Let us see what incidents happened there. Just a few times where people exceeded track limits, and the McLaren Frankenstein has turmoil damage, so he DNF'd there. Yeah, only a few exceeded track limits warnings, nothing else really going on right now. So when I look at the lap times here, so Frankenstein has DNF, so this is why he's out, and Direct Nutria is out by 7/10 of a second. That's quite a lot. Same with Face Fighter. He is 1.9 tenths off the pace to get into Q2. Great first qualifying. Great. So, let's look at the interview questions we prepared ahead of this race. We asked Raoul and Raver Shile about their favorite F1 driver, and Raoul answered with Kimi Räikkönen, which is actually pretty nice to hear. And I think having Räikkönen as a big idol maybe just shows how clean of a driver he is probably, and yeah, just great to see, because he just announced his retirement. Probably really sad for Raoul, but he might just carry on his legacy into Axxel Racing League. Such a great driver, really clean, and a very unique personality. As we head into Q2. And I think the big differences in between the times of the drivers probably came into turn 11 and 12, probably also corner 9 and 10. He's like very slow left-handers. Also turn 3. The Hugenholz corner. These are so important to get right with the right amount of traction. Like, you need these softs sometimes for these in order to achieve a really great exit. As we see Control Bobby leaving the pits on the mediums. Same with Rob Fopol and Raoul. Let's turn on the tire details, so we can see a bit more information about that. A lot of people going on the mediums, and I think these people, for these people, it's just so important to get the entries into the corner right, because the exit is going to be so much harder on the mediums, because they provide less traction, less grip. As Contra Bobby went off track, still approaching the first corner. Probably going for his first push lap now, first push lap of Q2. As he went into the pits again. I don't know what happened there. Shocker to see. as we now watch Rob for pole on his first push lap. On these mediums, fast right-handers are going to be so much harder on the mediums. Still a really good exit there. Took the right amount of curb there. Approaching the DRS zone now. Down into third gear with a purple sector too, but he's only the second guy out. As he approaches the last corner, approaches the last DRS zone, and probably the only overtaking spot for the pole race, the main straight and the first corner, as he puts in a 1:11.3. Not all too much slower than the soft runners, some of the soft runners in Q1. So very impressive time and good exits, good traction. He used the throttle the right way as you wanted to, as Raoul puts in a slightly faster lap by only by 0.05 of a second. As we now watch Star Max Lot on his first push lap on the softs. If he wants to get a good position here, he at least has to be faster than these medium runners, like Chucky here on P1, provisional pole in Q2. DRS wide open now for Star Max Lot, as he puts in a 1:10.8. Faster than a medium runner. Very important, very important here. As I get some information to probably put up the gamma for the stream a bit. Let's watch Contented Mink on his push lap. Also on the mediums. To the fast right-hander. Approaching the DRS zone now. On his way to the Hans Ernst corner, where it's just so important to get a good entry and exit. And he's a bit off the apex, runs a bit wide, but didn't touch the straight curbs. Back rear dancing a bit, approaching the main straight now. As he puts in a 1:10.8 on these mediums, just 500 slower than Star Max Lot on softs. A really good lap from Mink right here. I am really waiting for Darkfly to put in his lap, because we want to see the battle between the Alpine and Aston Martin team. AJ Sam not going for his push lap just yet. Too much control Bobby on his outlap and Contented Mick on his second push lap. No, I think he enters the pits. Yeah, he does. Control Bobby into his first push lap now. Pretty good entry, but he could use a bit of curb as AJ Sam puts in a slow lap. I think Control Bobby could decide here rather to one wide or take it tight. I think that's gonna lose him a bit of time, because he's just not consistent right there. Really good entry into the fast right-hander. But went off throttle a bit, got a bit scared there. onto the full brakes. Went a bit wide again. Off track, and he spun out. He spun out DNF. Controllably retires. Big shunt right there. Also Ferrari, one of the teams that has 0 points yet, so seeing him crash now must not be too great for his teammate. As now we see Darkfly on his first push lap, also on the mediums. Decided to swap to mediums instead of the softs. Good exit there, had to correct a bit, but that should be fine for now. As he approaches the fast right-hander. Great bottom control there. Oh, went a bit wide. Off track. Didn't touch the curb probably, but a great exit approaching the DRS zone. A lot of curb there. I think he probably almost invalidated. Great exit, approaching the last corner. Oh, a bit of a wheel spin right there. As he approaches the main straight. DRS wide open again. And he puts in the second fastest lap on these mediums. Great driving. Shockey still on P1 by 2.5 tenths of a second. Sorry. Also Williams, the last team with points for now, 5th in the constructors standings, and seeing him on P1 with a really solid lap time on these mediums gives us high hopes for the Williams teams. As his teammate didn't go out yet. Let's watch Stephenson finish this lap. As he improves to P2. These medium runners are just something else right now. Really good work on these tires. Almost hitting, or maybe even hitting the exact same times as the soft runners in the first qualifying session. So I think we might get sub 110 in Q3 for the soft runners. And going out on mediums now, and maybe even falling out of Q1 in these mediums is just so important for the free tire choice, because if you make it into Q3, you have to start on the tires you used to qualify out of Q2. That's just the most important part right now, to find a good position on the grid combined with a good strategy for the race. As we watch AJ Sam, the second Alpine on his push lap. A bit of braking right there, good throttle control. Took the random off curve, ran a bit wide. Great braking point for him there, approaching the DRS zone. Bit of engine braking, ran a bit wide. Saved it though. As the McLaren went off track, I guess. Yeah. Waits to re-enter on the track. Went off track a bit onto the dirt. As AJ Sam puts in a lap only for P9, but on the mediums and not even a second off. So I think that's still pretty decent, but you have to remember only I think at this session 9 come through. Usually it's top 10, I don't know. But we are only 40 people here right now, so I think it's 9. 9 positions go through. As Raver Chile goes out for his first push lap, approaching the main straight. Only has the AlphaTauri of Rob for pole in his way. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, it's an interesting line, but it should work. The going wide into like the very decent apex approach should work out so far. Fast right-hander down here, great throttle control. Went off track though. This should cost him a lot of time as his rear spins around a bit. Great braking though, I think a lot of people nail this braking point right there. In front of the DRS zone. So this would be corner 10, I think, yeah, corner 10. AlphaTauri leaves space. Fine exit, but I think the throttle control wasn't all too perfect. I think he knows that and tries to make it up into this corner. Yeah, as I said, the lap wasn't all too perfect. I think he knows that though. And probably out of Q2 because I don't think he has the time to make it around the circuit, but still a great performance, yeah? I mean, we have such a wide variety of drivers here and it's just great to see. But set for the Alpine, not for the Alpine, for the Williams standing, as his teammate is currently P1. As the Mercedes of S. Goyet goes onto P1 with these softs. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. These soft runners usually have to be faster than these medium runners on a good lap. And most of them are. As he leaves space for the approaching McLaren of OJ McLaren, who we will watch now, finishing his last push lap as he went off track. Yeah, I think every driver just nails this braking point. Or almost nails it every time. Great to see, great to see. Currently P11. As Rob Pole can't improve, so if OJ McLaren improves now, Rob Pole is out of Q2. The last chance. I didn't watch his entire lap, so I don't know if it was great or not. Good hitting the apex there. Doesn't go off track this time around, pushes DRS zone. DRS open now. As he can't improve. SG is still out, but entering the pits now too. And that should be it for Q2. Both Aston Martins through, both Alpines through. The Mercedes now P1, both Alfa Romeos through too. One Williams, one McLaren. Oh, no, the McLaren don't. One Williams, one Ferrari, sorry. Great qualifying session. This time, no blocking on track. I don't know what happened there in Q1 exactly, but I think the stewards are gonna handle the situation. As Starmax Lord, only 1/10 off being P3 on these softs. So the soft runners are obviously faster because you get so much more grip, but I think it's just important for the strategy go out on his mediums, and a lot of people did. Except 3. And I think that's a strategy thing. I don't know about the weather yet. Let's see if there were any incidents. I don't think so. Okay. Oh, General Buckles was speeding in the pit lane, but only a warning, so they should be alright. And yeah, obviously the Ferrari crash off control Bobby as we head into Q3. So let's go into Q3. And now it's just so important to secure the right position, especially for the medium runners, because if they just start too far behind, they can't catch up to the soft runners and they will build a large gap. And I think the pressure to catch up these positions in a later stint is just so much higher. As the first cars go out now, the AlphaTauri off Rob for pole. And I think there's the Aston Martin going out, both Aston Martins going out as the Ferrari approaches. And both Aston Martins enter the track at the same time. Yeah, all on soft obviously. Yeah. Let's turn on everything again. And since Rob Paul is the first to exit the pit lanes, let's watch him also do the first push lap of Q3. As the Ferrari lets pass both Aston Martins. This might not be all too good for the back rear tires, overheating there. Let's see if we see a sub 110 lap now from any of these guys, putting in a great performance so far. As Rob approaches the main straight. To the first corner. A bit far off the apex, but that should give him a higher corner speed. Great entry into the corner and great exit. That was just almost perfect, I think. Let's go to the onboard camera for the faster right-handers approaching now. Great throttle control, I think a bit too much braking, but still should be fairly fine as he approaches the slow right-hander. Oh, went off track a bit too far and lap time invalidated for him. As we now watch Mink and Raoul, two Aston Martins. Mink approaching the DRS zone now. Hopefully the AlphaTauri off-road for pole leaves space. He does. Purple sector for Mink. But he's also only the second guy running right now as he approaches the final two corners. Onto the main straight. Also Raoul going now onto the main straight. 110.4 and a 110.5. Let's see what the other guys can do. The Ferrari is the next guy. 7/10 off as Darkfly crosses the line with a 110.17. Fastest overall by almost 3/10 right there. As we watch Stealthy Sunny approach the last corner. Really good entry into it. But he pits as he invalidated his lap 2. Star Max Law puts in a 110.6. as the Mercedes of S. Goyet is approaching the finish line and puts in a 1.10.5, separating the two Aston Martins from each other, but only by 600. It's just so close right now. The top 5 runners are just all putting good performances in, and I think the small difference they have is just 1 corner, 2 corners. I don't think that might be a whole sector, only between 1 and 5. It's just so important to have the right throttle control on this really short track. One mistake costs so much. As we watch the Williams of Chucky now finishing his first push lap into the fast right-hander. Way faster than other guys so far. Great braking point again. A lot of people can handle this corner really well. As he approaches the DRS zone, a bit far off the apex, but that should give him more straight line speed into the DRS zone. Great amount of curb, but maybe a bit too far and a lot of understeering. As he now approaches the final corner in his Williams. Across the line, 1.10.8. Position 6 for now. Raoul finishes another lap but can't quite improve. Didn't see his delta there, didn't see his time. But still a really great lap. I think the top 5 can get so much closer as they put more laps in. Let's just hope they don't use too much of the tires. As it's just so important to not have fully used while in the race. As we watch Stealthy Sunny finishing his first push lap, I think. Into the fast right-hander, let's see how he will handle it. Great there. You see some people going down into 5th gear, but he stays on 6th with engine braking into this corner again. Yeah, all these guys just nail this corner perfectly, approaching the DRS zone. It's insane. Lost some speed right there, but that shouldn't be all too bad. Great amount of curb. No understeering this time for him. As he approaches the final 2 corners now. Great racing line through that final corner. A bit of a late shift there, but it's pole position for him, almost sub 110. I think if not for 1 or 2 braking points, that's a sub 110. Great lap. Clear off grid position number 2 by over 1/10 of a second. Really good lap from him. But he did put in, like in his in-lap, another purple sector in one. Holy shit. So that might have been sub 110. But he can't. And he shouldn't push all too much, because these tires are gonna be so much worse, especially into these very technical corners. Like also Abu Dhabi has, where it's just so important to have much grip. Starbucks Lord went off track, but I don't know if that was to leave space for Mink. I think so, as Mink invalidated his lap, I think. Yeah. Let's watch Raoul here. Approaching DRS zone. As I think, yeah. He doesn't want to finish this lap here, right? Oh, it's an out lap. Oh, my bad, my bad. As he is approaching the main straight now. For his rear push lap now. Trying to improve 0.5 of a second. It's quite a margin. And a really, really great lap by Stealthy Sunny. Great braking there. As he approaches the second right-hander. Oh, really nice racing line there. Good braking again, but I think a bit too early on the brake throttle, and he spins around with the back rear. And basically loses his lap time. Let's go watch Goyet as he finishes sector 1 after this corner. It's a 24.47, 1.5 tenths faster than his previous lap. But he ran a bit wide there as Rob for pole went off track in front of him. Which is not affecting him, like, especially, but distracts a lot. As you watch Mink finish his push lap, but it was invalidated, so probably going for a second one. And simply YouTube got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision right there. I don't know what was happening. I couldn't see it. Didn't realize that was happening. But yeah, let's see. And the race director, incidents, collision with Raver Sheeley, probably costing him his lap. I didn't see if he was on a push lap and what happened exactly. Also, his lap is invalid. Didn't see that. Really, really sad. Oh, Ezra spins off track, leaves space for the Williams. Off Raver Sheeley, but his lap time is invalid anyways. As I completely lost track who is on a push lap and who is not because of these accidents. But I think Simply YouTube is... Oh no, he's not. I actually don't know what's going on. Probably is not going for a push lap here. Really, really, really messy. As Contented Mink puts in a 109.9. The first guy to be sub 110, but also Darkfly and Chucky did it. Look at these times, man. Chucky by 8 thousandths, sub 110. I think I got lost a bit with the timings right there, but shouldn't bother you all too much, because we now see that Darkfly is 3.5 tenths clear of P2 right now. So I think that's pole position for him if nobody can improve on it. As there is only, I think, these two people left. No, I think it's only Raul on a push lap. I'm not sure though. Let's see. Looks like it to me. Didn't see his sector times, but that ruined it probably. Went off track too. Nah, couldn't improve there. Simply YouTube also won't. As this is it for qualifying. This is it for qualifying. Great qualifying with the incidents. Probably really, really sad for some guys that lost their lap time through it or just couldn't dodge. And the grid penalty is also so big. 5-place grid penalty is so much. Especially on a track with only a few overtaking opportunities, if not only one, into turn 1. So, this is it for the qualifying session. As Darkfly, I think with the Carlos Sainz bug, put in the fastest lap with a 1:09.6. Let's see the sectors. Can I? Yeah. Wow. Well, 24, 24, 21. Yeah, he's just a bit faster there in a few corners, I think, and that makes a lot of difference. This is it. Now we have a 5-minute break. Have to wait until everybody's ready again. Give him a break, get a drink like I did. Really great qualifying. 2 DNFs. Probably really sad for the teams, because Ferrari and McLaren, I think, have not scored points yet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they don't have scored points yet, and I think the Alpine and Aston Martin times are gonna be very important, because they're just tied right now for the Constructor Championships, and let's see where they are after the race. But for now, let's have a quick guide of the track.
Hello and welcome to Zandvoort for another round of Formula One action. Four lefts and 10 rights make up the 14 corners of the narrow and demanding Zandvoort circuit, with plenty of peaks and valleys over the course of a 2.6-mile lap, which will demand absolute concentration from our drivers here today. And a warm welcome, of course, to my co-commentator here today, someone of tremendous experience and insight.
As we now wait for the race start, I'm actually, I think, stuck on the screen, so let's just check out the grid now. As we have Darkfly on P1 starting on the mediums, I think, yeah. Yeah, on the mediums. Well, I shouldn't. I don't know. Let's just keep it quiet. But these guys that finished Q2 on it anyways have to start there. Let's just not talk too much about that, so people don't get the strategy, I guess. Where did the Ferrari end up at the end? At P11. Okay. And the other Ferrari that crashed out is on P14 now. Really sad to see. As we do have 2 Williams in the top 10 though. And obviously both Aston Martins. As they just put in so many great laps. Same with the Alfa Romeo guys. And our only Mercedes in the top 10 too. AlphaTauri really low on the grid. Same with the Red Bull guys. But since it's a fairly long race with a lot of laps, I think 36 actually, It's gonna be a really interesting race because as for the interviews, some people told me that they are not all too great on this track. So I think there will be a few incidents happening, maybe a few accidents, DNFs, because people starting on these mediums just don't want an early safety car, I guess, because then the soft runners are going to catch up. It's going to be a really, really interesting race. Safety car can shake around a lot here because, as I said, not too many overtaking opportunities. As we ready up for the race starting in 30 seconds. All the best for everybody on the grid. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting race, I think. Zandvoort here on F1 2021 and F1 IRL for the first time in 35 years as we head into the race. As the formation laps start, let's put the gap on interval, not on leader. Detail. Let's put that on tires for now. Turn on telemetry. And see what's gonna happen. Okay, we have a few people starting on the hards. I don't know how Zandvoort will handle on hards because the technical middle sector is just so important to have a lot of grip, so let's see how these people will do it and what the strategies are. I think since some people said it's a pretty tough track and we saw a few spins and incidents in the qualifying session, I think it's gonna be really interesting. As Shockey on P3 might have a good opportunity to get P2 into the first corner, because this is one of the, if not the only, overtaking spots on the whole track after the DRS zone. So let's see what's gonna happen there as the cars now line up on the starting grid again. Yeah, it's gonna be fairly interesting, I think. As we now turn that off for a second, as same as the telemetry, and just watch a race start. And it's 5 red lights and away we go. As Darkfly leads into turn 1, and as I said, Mink might go down the inside there. Pushes the Alfa Romeo off track. The Williams of Shockey actually got P2, as I hopefully predicted it right. It's just such a really, really tight track. So let's turn on our position change and see what happened so far. As I said, Shockey got the position here. It was fairly obvious to happen because he just will have so much more grip and these better tires into turn 1. As we watch Darkfly lead, great racing there. Let's check out the middle field. Oh, as if this was not a corner cut, and Direct Neutral loses a lot of time there. And a gap starts to form. between the Williams of Air Shield and the Alfa Romeo of Stomach Slot. As I think the timings are a bit buggy right now. Let's see if we can fix that somehow. Because this is fairly annoying, if I'm honest, but let's see what we can do with that. As we have a yellow flag at the back of the grid, and I think also AJ Sam spun out. And as I said, after the Williams of River Shield, there is a gap starting to form to these Alfa Romeo guys. I don't know if Steffi Sunny is faster, and if so, it might be a team effort to let him pass. But Stomach Slot has the soft, he has to be faster. As there is simply YouTube spun around, going down the grid. As he needs a lot of time to get back on track. As we see Raul already pitting, didn't see what was going on there, but the Mercedes of S. Goyet is also spun. I think Raul might probably have front wing damage. I think we kept an eye too long on the Ferrari that spun out earlier on. Left enough space, Frankenstein passes. And I think so many people just... No, it's two people that went into the pits. And now the gaps are just forming so far. And that's Watch, Stealthy, Sunny and Direct Nutria. As we have another yellow flag, and I think Face Fighter's out. Yeah, Face Fighter's out. Virtual safety car deployed into these early laps. It's actually what I predicted, because it's just a so tight track, and I don't know if all people know that it's just so hard to overtake, and you actually spin around so fast if you don't take it all too serious, that this is a really tight and tricky track. As we go back a bit, the grid to Frankenstein, Stomach Slot and Contra Bobby, which are fairly close together, when the safety car will stop and racing resumes. Let's see how long that takes. As these gaps start to close down a bit, especially at the front two. There's all like a lot of two car groups or three car groups, which might give a lot of drivers opportunity to overtake as the virtual safety car ends, and as Goyet was speeding under the safety car and got a drive-through penalty. I think this is Mercedes out of contention for the race. As he enters the pit, I don't know if the safety car was already over. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was. So, if not, then he couldn't serve his penalty, and Direct Nutria also got a penalty. Let's see what this was for real quick. He was also speeding under safety car conditions and also got a drive-through penalty. As we have a look at the top three contenders of the race real quick, onto the main straight, DRS opens now, but I think the gap is just too large to overtake. But he gained a lot of time because Chucky just doesn't have the DRS advantage. Stomach Slot and Control Bobby start to battle into the DRS zone. Let's see if Control Bobby can catch up. I think the gap is just too large, because all of these guys have DRS except Frankenstein, so that makes them catch up here again. Really close racing here, and there is another yellow flag as Control Bobby spins out. Not looking all too good for the Ferrari drivers as he re-enters the track rather unsafe, but I think it should be fine. As Raul has to, I think, swap his wing for the second time there. This is gonna cost him so much. And if AJ Sam can catch up quite a few positions, and Darkfly stays on P1, this just so so big for the Alpine team regarding the standings. And there's another yellow sector. It's just so much going on. Contender Mink already in the pits as Frankenstein spun around. Yeah. Racing should be allowed again as we watch Steffi Sunny and Reva Shield into the second sector. And now both Aston Martins are just out of contention for points. And this is just so great for the Alpine team. In which regard they can build a huge gap in the Champions League standings. But we can't count out the Alfa Romeo guys, which are currently third in the standings and have P5 and 6 in their backs so far, as OJ McLovin, even though he started rather far back on the grid, I think P10 it was, on a podium place right now. Same for the Red Bull guys, because both Ferraris are struggling a lot. Same with the Aston Martin guys, and one of the Mercedes is already out. As we now watch Steffi Sunny onto Reva Shield into turn 1. I think this is just not enough speed to overtake here. But still a great effort. Still a great effort. As he really holds that. Same here with AJ Sam and Buckles. It's just... you can't catch up. As I said, it's rather like this position or none where you can overtake. But we have really tight racing here at the middle of the grid, as it's a group of 5 cars racing against each other. So tight, so close. With Mink already getting positions again. Let's see if he can have a look on the inside of Derek Nuccia. Not, I think he has to back out there a bit. But I think this is going to be a really interesting main straight, as Darkfly is now clear over 5.5 seconds of P2. Really looking really good for him. As now this group of 5 cars, I think, approaches the main straight, and I think there has to be something happening here. Especially, I think Mink might pass Nuccia here. Also, we have another crash by the Ferrari, but watch what happened here, as he can't overtake because it's just a DRS train onto the main straight. He tries again, has a little look, but it's just impossible to pass, as Simply YouTube continues racing and still is clear 23 seconds after Aston Martin of Raoul that had already to pit twice, which just cost him so much time. Let's see the details. Position change. Yeah, Raoul lost 10 positions so far, but Nuccia gained 7, and Mink the same, lost 8 positions. Not looking good for the Aston Martin team, but it's looking even better for the Alfa Romeo guys and the Alpine guys. Same with the Red Bull. It's just great racing, as both Williams are on their run to get a podium. Let's just see if Reva Sheila is able to catch up, as we have another yellow flag. Let's watch Nutria and Frankenstein approach the DRS. I think Nutria wasn't in the DRS detection zone, so Frankenstein might be able to pass here now with the DRS. DRS opens for him, but not for Nutria. He might be able to pass into turn 1. Let's see. Nah, he just can't. But Nutria runs wide, because I think he has to leave space. He's on the hards, and Frankenstein is on the mediums, has to back out there a bit. Great defending, but I think Frankenstein might or might not at some point overtake. Great racing here, as we watch both Alfa Romeos, I think, just pulling each other with the DRS through the track. I think that's the best strategy you can have right now to get a larger gap of the Red Bull of Buckles behind them, as the Alpine of AJ Sam approaches him again. low on ERS as the McLaren. Unfortunately, McLaren spun, but still on P4, but just now straight up, not being able to catch Revashili anymore. As we have a swap, because Mink finally overtook Nutria, as I predicted it. At some point it has to happen, but now Nutria has the DRS again, so with the slipstream he might be able to overtake again. Let's see what happens here, and the Ferrari spun again. And yeah, Nutria got the position back. Mink maybe had... Oh! As they crash, as they collide! What did they do to Mink? Does he have damage? I think this is just straight up the fault of Mink, because he shouldn't have never went for this. But I think he doesn't have damage because he takes the right-hander rather quick still. As one of the Ferraris is making its way up again. OJ McLaughlin, just not his best race right now. Has to reverse on the track and wait so long for the group of cars. Even though ghosting is on, he should respect what's going on behind him and loses so much time off track right there. As Rob for pole obviously overtook OJ McLaughlin there. Steffi, Sunny, Star McLeod pulling each other near the podiums, and both Williams are now on the podium places. As the Alpine of OJ Sam went off track. Same with the Red Bull of Nutria. What is happening? I think some of them, one of them has a front wing damage. I think it's Nutria, who might go into the box now. Let's see. Yeah, he has to go in the box. But on lap 11, it might be rather okay, because he can now go for maybe medium tires. I can't see anything. Thank you, game. No, he goes for soft, even though 25 laps remain. Let's see if that is a good call. As we now look at the fastest laps so far, Darkfly, yeah, fastest by 700, so really close. And I want to look at the tires right now, as we watch Mink and Rob for pole, Frankenstein and Mink fight here, because I think it might be fairly tough to keep him behind as Frankenstein spins anyways. So this was his opportunity to overtake, and I want to have a quick look how many stops. Yeah, as I said, Raul won 2 stops already, just to change his front wing twice. Rather unlucky. I didn't see who caused the caused the yellow flag right there, but both Aston Martins now racing. I think it might be a good call for them to let one or the other pass, but they are both on medium, so they might just pull each other with the RS up to the Alpine of AJ Sam, so they can have a go at him. Let's see what's gonna happen. As yeah, the top grid is just fixed for now if there's not an incident happening. Great points for the Williams, double podium for the Williams. As the Ferrari of Simply YouTube spun again. He spun again. Let's see the gaps to the leader, and we see that Raul and Simply YouTube are a lap down. Same almost with Goyet, Nutria, and the AlphaTauri of GPKIL. Yeah, virtual safety car is deployed right now. But I think there's no time to catch up, because a virtual safety car just doesn't have to form the line. As the virtual safety car ends, DRS is enabled again. The Williams just pulling each other, same as for the Alfa Romeos, just pulling each other through the track sometimes with the DRS. Just a great opportunity to do that. As Simply YouTube DNFs. He DNF'd. He's out of the session. Didn't see what happened there. but he's on the main straight. Is he in the box? I think he just retired in the box. Yeah, couldn't see what was happening there. As the intervals are forming bigger and bigger, and it's just such a sad race for Raoul in the Aston Martin. Right now, it's just it's a shame. It's a shame. Involved in a few accidents. I don't know if these were his faults or other guys' faults. But we didn't get any penalties yet. And one of the Alfa Romeo guys spun out. Can he defend from the approaching Red Bull though? I think so, yeah. He can. Still over 3 seconds clear of him. And still could keep his position as Williams are looking really, really good in contention for scoring a lot of points. A lot of points. And yeah. So we might talk about one of the Williams drivers, Reva Chile, and Reva Chile, I think, because of the country. And as Darkfly puts another fastest lap in, but I think he was previously holding fastest lap anyways. So he also answered us some question because his favorite track in general is Silverstone, but the best track for him to drive is Singapore, which is also very, very technical. That might be why he's in good contention here. And as he said, he's also fairly consistent, and I can see that right now. His quali wasn't auto shabby either, because he had to improve on this, but his consistency is just the key right now, because he's one of the few guys that didn't spin out yet, as Mink passes Buckles here, and Rob for pole passes Starmax Lot because he went into the pits. Pit stop, almost half the race done, and there's just not much going on right now, as Frankenstein also pits. Let's see what tires he goes for. I think these were softs. Yeah, he goes for softs now. And also has to swap his front wing, so it's gonna cost a lot of time too. As we now might watch a full lap on this track with Darkfly. Approaching another back marker, the Mercedes of S. Goyet. You can just see how great he takes these right-handers, and let's just see how well he handles the right turn, because not onto the throttle too early to save these tires and not just rock them totally off. Same here, approaching slowly and full throttle when you're almost in a straight line. It's just so important to not rip these tires apart so fast. As we have a yellow flag because Frankenstein went off track, and he went off track again. I think he has front wing damage, which makes him so hard for him to drive. As I think, who passes him? Yeah, as Reva Chile passes him for from the blue flags, sorry. As Darkfly puts in another fastest lap, I think by 6, no, not by 6, by 4 tenths. By 4 tenths, it's just amazing. Amazing. As now Control Bobby comes out of the pits, I think, just behind Goyet. And Raoul approaches the gone AlphaTauri of a GPKI, and he's gonna gain a position back sooner or later. As Nutria pits and Frankenstein pits, Frankenstein goes in for the tire change and for the front wing. Yeah. As we now watch Raoul finally pass that AlphaTauri. In Control Bobby approaching Goyet. There's not much going on right now, but here in the middle field there's Starmax Lord approaching Rafa Pole, and Rafa Pole is approaching Buckles, and Frankenstein got a 5-second time penalty for crossing the pit exit line, I think. It's gonna cost him so much. He's last anyways, and then 5 seconds added to that puts him so far behind Nutria. It's just awful to see. Starmax Lord has to back out a bit as he gains the position on Rob for pole. That was just clean. But Rob for pole gets the DRS now, but I think there's just no way he's gonna overtake him because he ran so wide. He doesn't have the advantage to gain some speed. But I think we just have to see what will happen now. Onto the main straight, into the Tarzan corner, turn 1, with the DRS. He is on hards though, and I think Star makes lots of mediums, so he gets so much more speed out of the corner. Yeah, he can't pass. He can't pass. It's just not possible as Star makes lot is getting on buckets again, almost in the DRS range. Yeah, this is probably the only fighting right now as Mink is trying to catch up to Stealth Sunny and get a good position for his team, as Raul also get a lot of positions because of the pit stops, and he's not the only one that has to pit so often. It's just a rather unlucky race as I think Control Bobby spun around again. Or just Drent's Giga slope into the pits, I don't know. I don't know what that was. It's a 5-second time penalty still because he was speeding. Just so unlucky. Can serve that penalty instantly and just lose so much time again. As I think AJ Sam spun around. And now it's looking really, really, really good for Williams. I don't know if they are able to catch up to Darkfly because he's just on some mad pace right now. Really, really, really good driver. But it's not looking all too shabby for Alfa Romeo 2. So I think this race could shake up the standings a lot. As a Red Bull is also in the top 10. Sad to see Goy is so far behind because he had such a great qualifying. Would have been almost able to take the first points for Mercedes, I think. And yeah, as OJ McLaren is on his way to score for McLaren, I think. As we talk about it, Rob Paul wins off track again. Has to let the McLaren pass, and that's another position for him and General Buckles. They are gaining so much, and Mink is on his way now to fight with Stealthy Sunny. Onto the main straight. I don't think that's enough yet. The gap is not small enough yet, as he uses a lot of DRS. ERS, not DRS, I'm sorry. He can't pass. He can't pass yet, but I think because he is on the softs, he's gonna gain so much in these corners, and the latest he's gonna pass is into turn 1 on the next lap again. As he takes this corner a bit wider, gives him much more pace, but I think there's no way he can overtake here because he's just gonna have to hold the pace of the Alfa Romeo in front of him, because if not, he's gonna collide anyways or have to take the corner way too far outside. He's gonna lose way too much time. It's much great racing. Let's just hope for him he's able to make it pass, because again he's getting hold so much there. As I think, I don't know who that was, probably Nutria went off track again, because he's on the softs and he just wants to pass the medium runner so he can gain a lot more positions. Okay, let's just watch this out of his view into the final turn. Gap is the same again, but he has much more ERS as he pits. I think that's a good call. He was the last time ERS tries to pit because I think he knows he can't pass anyways this time again. So goes for the hards and is probably gonna finish the race on these tires, as Tamaglaw has to build a big gap here as Country Puppy spins again. It's just not his track, it's just not his race right now. It's a rather tough track, and for guys also like having 10 years experience on this game, and it's just not possible to be all too good because it's the first time we have it in a Formula 1 game, because the last time, as I said, the track was driven was in 1985. I think some of our drivers weren't born there, me neither. So yeah, it's just great to see a new track on the calendar again. As we watch Rob for pole approach General Buckles here. Approaching the DRS zone, as also Mink is fighting with McLovin. There's much going on right here now. I think he can pass here, but gain a few hundreds of a second. He has such a full battery still that might give him advantage in the later laps of the race. He's on the hards. Same for Buckles though, I think, yeah. And let's watch Mink into the straight line. I think he's gonna be able to pass OJ McLovin. He does. Does the Fernando Alonso. As Rob for pole does pass General Buckles. Really, really nice racing here. Leaves a lot of space. AJ Sam passes McLovin because he is in the pits now. As Darkfly's gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think this is just a race win for him. And I think Nutria just got out of the session and the safety car is deployed. This is gonna shake up so much again on this race, because let's look at the tires right now. Look at Darkfly, he just pitted for these hards to finish the race, and Revachile is gonna pit now. It's gonna give him a big advantage, because with the safety car staying out a long time, he might be able to catch up again and have a rather good race and get the advantage on these softs. Let's just see how long the safety car stays out and what's gonna build and how the gap's gonna close, because Mink is also on 0 lap tires and the guys behind him are on 18, 21, 21. It's gonna give such a big advantage. Same with McLovin, who pitted just for these softs. Same with Raul. It's gonna be a rather tight race now, with the safety car coming out if it stays out for too long. Great racing here. Yeah, as I said, Raul for his 3rd pit stop now. Same with Mink. As the Alfa Romeos are now on 4 and 5, and the Williams on 2 and 3. I think it's gonna be so big for these constructorship standings. And let's have a look real quick. I'm looking at the driver standings as Mink leads the championship and Darkfly is 2nd. I think, I don't know what will happen, but probably is Darkfly is gonna overtake Mink in the standings. So let's see what's happening. Also, Bobby still has a, I think, 5-second time penalty, and he can't serve that under safety car conditions. Yeah, as the grid is getting closer and closer, which is just not all too nice. For the guys that just pitted. We see a lot of guys pitted again, and these guys to the way out. Oh, as Sunny gets a time penalty probably for corner cutting too much or getting off track too much, as Nutria leaves the session, as he is probably out of contention anyways, or I don't know why. Maybe also internet connection issues. We are gonna see, as we now want to look at the gap to the leader. It's some of these guys are still a lap down, and just look at the top runners. They are close up again, and this is gonna be big pressure for Darkfly, because he now has people behind him that, as soon as the safety car is in and a few laps are gone, can use DRS on him again. Also, that Sunny gets a penalty under safety car conditions is just so sad for him, because now McLovin's gonna catch up, and these 3 seconds are gonna be fully there, because if not for the safety car, McLovin would be more than 3 seconds behind, and not to lose the position. But like that, it's not all too great to see. As we now can have a look at Darkfly's perspective here. Shocky with the medium behind and Revachile with the softs. So we will see if Shocky lets him pass for the constructorship points or not, because I don't know how eager these people are for the championship standings. It's gonna be it's gonna be a hard and tough decision to make, to let the soft runner go and build a gap, and then the medium runner might catch up again or pull each other with the DRS through the track when it opens up again, so they can... Oh! S. Frankenstein gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with... I couldn't fast enough read who. But his penalties are stacking now. And just still look at the gap between Raoul and Control. They are still so far behind as the grid closes in tighter and tighter. And we're gonna have a rather interesting restart, I think. And if Mink gets a good restart here, yeah, I can do that again. Yeah, let's put on the tires again. Let's just put on the tires again. I think Mink just doesn't have a chance to get P1 here anyways, because it's just 11 laps left, and he's on the mediums as 3 other people in the top positions are on softs. I think it's gonna be Darkfly, Raver, and Storm Exlord on the podium, just looking at the tires, because they're gonna have such a good restart into turn 1. So much more grip that they might be able to easily pass here. As the grid finally closes fully together now, I think we're gonna watch the top 4 runners on the restart as soon as the safety car comes in. Probably this lap. As the last 3 guys are still a whole lap behind. Gonna be a rather interesting restart, I think. I think safety car should go in this lap, so there's 10 laps left and there's a lot of people on fresh mediums. And we also have a few penalties, and the most relevant penalty is gonna be the one from Stealthy Sunny here. For now, let's just put the telemetry off so we can watch a proper restart. As Rob for pole gets a penalty, safety car goes in this lap. Let's just watch it from a bit more far behind, and not position 1, because and Mink got also a penalty. This is gonna be so important because of the restart. River Sheely also got another penalty. So it's basically Shocky and Darkfly in contention for position 1. As we go green, Darkfly already has a 1-second gap. Such a great restart from his side. As Control Bobby is just in the middle of the grid. It's just not good. And I think we just now look at the top runners, because it's gonna need some time to see how these penalties affect the standings at the end. Yeah, Darkfly is just on mad pace. He's just gone again. And now let's look at these 2 medium runners battling here now. It's still so tight. Look at the back runners too, like the 4 guys here, and AJ Sam is out of the points. So Starmix Lord might be the only one scoring for Alfa Romeo. And I don't know about Raver Chile, but big points for Alpine just because of Darkfly. And I think he might gonna get another fastest lap of the race in. Maybe not this lap, but for sure the next one, as Stealthy Sunny left the session. He just left the session. Guess he's gonna put another fastest lap in, because first lap on the softs for him. Great racing. As Raver Shitty passes Shocky, I don't think he should I don't know if you should do that. He can give him DRS now on the main straight for maybe a faster lap. And who spun out? Who spun out? I think it's Raul, yeah? It's Raul spun out. It's just not his race. In a pre-race interview, he also told me Zandvoort is his worst or one of his worst, and he's just not good on the track, as he said, because the curbs are so lethal for him, and they are. If you spin out here once, it's just over because the track is just so short. Steffi Sunny is back in again. I think it was just a disconnection issue he was having. Let's leave on the tires for now, as I think Frankenstein just spun out, yeah. But he's not in contention anyways, because he's so far behind and has another penalty. As a lot of the top runners have penalties, but a lot more people are gonna make it into... gonna finish the race than the last time in Spa. As we have another yellow sector, probably because Raul was too slow there, as Darkfly is just building a huge gap. Let's turn off the tires for now again and look at the position change. We have Chile with 6 positions gained. It's just so big for him, and if he can build a good gap there, he might be able to still get the podium, because I can see the intervals right now. Again. And then another red flag. Yellow flag. Not red flag. As Mink spins out. This is so bad for Aston Martin, which are on the constructorship battle with Alpine, as I said, so many times now. And I think with Darkfly in P1 and probably also finishing in P1, as Rob for Pole spins off. Darkfly in P1 is just a lead for Alpine at that point, and probably also the championship lead for Darkfly, because Mink is just not in contention for a good position anymore. A 3-second time penalty for Frankenstein, probably cut the chicane, not chicane, cut the corner too often, or went off track too many times, as a lot of people have penalties, 6 in total. But Rev Chile built quite a gap, as Star Makes Lot is approaching Shockey here. Enter the fast right-hander section in sector 2, and let's keep and look on them, because Star Makes Lot might be able to pass him on the main straight with the DRS into turn 1. Let's see what's gonna happen as they approach the first DRS zone. DRS open now for him. He is barely gaining on Shockey, who's probably using a lot of ERS. Let's turn on the telemetry again so we can see that properly. Star Makes Lot only on 20% ERS, and Shockey still on 54. Darkfly and Rev Chile almost on 30. Oh, he's gonna pass. I think Star Makes Lot's gonna pass into turn 1 here. Let's see. Have a proper look at it. Down the inside. Shockey leaves enough space. And Star Makes Lot, even though he is on the softs, can't pass him. The grip was just not there. The throttle wasn't all too perfect either, I think. As he runs wide, which is not all too bad, but then you should take it fully wide, I think. But it's still a great exit, and he is gaining again. He is gaining again on Shockey. Into the right-hander. He is gaining, but has to back out a bit, because he's just gonna have to adapt to the pace of him to not break his front wing, as we have a really close battle for the top 4 positions. As Rev Chile runs a bit wide. Shockey and Star Makes Lot with the DRS open now. I think the fact that Rev Chile is just giving Shockey DRS is saving the position for him, even though he has the 5-second time penalty. But it's gonna only give Star Makes Lot only 1 position and not 2. And I think it's just great teamwork right now. Great teamwork, and so important for these championship points. If Rev Chile only has 5-second time penalty, that's currently P4 for him still. I think they shouldn't battle all too much there, because they're gonna just hold each other up. Maybe just let the other one pass and give DRS to the slower guy, so he can make up that pace on the straight. Because if the teammates battle now and do a mistake, it's just Star Max Lord on P2. Let's have a look at Mink and AJ Sam here. Also, the other Alpine driver and the current championship leader. But I think since Mink has a time penalty, it doesn't matter if he overtakes him. But AJ Sam might still get one, so he should still try, because the race is not over yet. 4 laps remaining. As Darkfly goes into the next lap. And Shocky actually passes Ravishida again. That's what I meant. Just give the DRS to the slower guy so he can make up that speed on the main straight and just hold Star Max Lord behind. Star Max Lord and Shocky out of ERS, and Ravishida is still at 40%. So I think the fact that they are fighting back there so hard is both good and bad for the Williams guys. But they are holding Star Max Lord behind, who might do a mistake out of all the pressure. But still on the soft, and the other guys are on the mediums. So let's see what's gonna happen here. Let's have a further look back on the grid, as Mink is still trying to overtake AJ Sam, and Raul, his teammate, is also close behind him. But I don't think it doesn't matter anyways. I think probably Raul should just pass on the main straight, because he doesn't have a penalty. He is on those softs. So there's much open now as he went off track. There's just so many penalties. Let's have another look at Star Max Lord, who might be able to get Shocky here now, as he has his ERS, DRS, Slipstream is so close. He might get it, and he got it. And this is... as Shocky hits him, both spun out. So bad for the Williams guys. But Ravishida is just now clear of his penalty. I think it's a 3-second penalty. So he is clear of Goyet, who is now in contention for the podium again. What is going on in this last few laps? As Shocky spun out again, or is still spun out, I don't know. Probably has front wing damage. The slow he takes these corners, I don't know. Williams was on such good pace for a double podium, and now it's just over. But I think the stewards have to take a look into what happened there. Is Delphi Sunny still getting on rough pole? I don't know. Their penalties though. Can we have a better look at that? I think we can't. Oh, we can. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I think Delphi Sunny is just not gonna make it, and another person spun out. No, it's Goyet. He was in contention for P2 there, and he just blew it. Oh, poor guy. Would have been good points for the Mercedes guys, but now it's just over again for him. As we watch AJ Sam maybe getting buckles, and as Goyet got a 5-second penalty for colliding with Raul. Didn't see what was going on there, but it's just a messy race for the Aston Martin guys. And an even worse race for Goyet, who was just so good into the race till now, was fighting for a podium, and went out 2 laps before the finish. As Star Max Lord is still close enough to Ravishida for the P2, which is really good for the Alfa Romeo guys, because the Aston Martins are way lower than them, so they might get a good few points here. As AJ Sam spun out again. And the pressure in these last few laps is just so high, because the race right now does a lot to these standings. But I think even though the other Alpine is, I don't know, is almost out of contention, they should be still ahead, and Darkflame is definitely going to take over the championship lead over Mink. A really exciting race. I can't explain what's going on here. So many spins from the Ferrari guys, from the Mercedes guys. Alpine wasn't all too good either from AJ Sam's side, but Darkfly is is on mad pace. He's just so good right now. And as we see that again, this braking point is just perfect. Takes it close to the white line on the inside. Ah, it's beautiful racing, beautiful racing. As Ravashili is not clear of Star Max Load. So that's Darkfly, P1, Star Max Load P2, and Ravashili P3, I think, the podium guys here. Great race. As Shocky and as Goya DNF into the last lap. Just so sad to see. So sad to see. Because Shocky with the Williams was in for so good as Darkfly crosses the line, Ravashili crosses the line, Star Max Load crosses the line and gets the P2 McLovin. Great race. Great race. Mink in P7. This is gonna cost him the championship lead after just the second race. But it's just the second race, as I just said, so everything is still open. Somebody almost pushed him off the track. I don't know what was going on there. Who is he racing even? And it's over. And Darkfly wins the Dutch Grand Prix here in Axxel Racing League. Great race from him. General Buckles with the driver of the day. Congrats to everybody there. With the Carlos Sainz bug onto the podium, P1 for him. And good points for Williams too. Good points for Alfa Romeo. What a great race. What a race. Oh, I'm sorry. Holy shit. Yeah, Darkfly P1 with the fastest lap of the race. Star Max Lord, and after that Ravashili on the podium. Podium for these guys, as we now I think should do a interview with these guys. Let's start with P3, I think. Let's start with Ravashili, invite him to a party. As I invited him, but not joining yet. Let's wait a second there. Oh, we start with another person, but I think starting with position 3 there is just the best we can do. As he joined us for the podium post-race interview. Hello. Hello. Great race from your side. Great qualifying too, I think. But you fought from P8 to P3. Like, what was the strategy there? What made it possible?
Decent pace on the mediums to go that long, so I could then put the softs on at the end. But I think also just not making mistakes. I think a lot of people made little errors here or there, and little spin. If the pack's as tight as it was today, everyone was just dropping back with a little spin. So just being consistent, mate. That's all I managed. Yeah.
And what do you say about your teammate having the big DNF at the end of the race? Because I think you two could have made it into a 2-3 finish for Williams. Get good points in.
Yeah, well that was a plan. A few laps in after the safety car, he was on the mediums because he didn't pit, and I was on the softs, and so we made a team call to let me go ahead. Yeah. Because also I got a 5-second penalty on the safety car for a stupid thing. Apparently I was meant to give a place back to Contrary Bobby, who was sitting way in the order down. But I was obviously in pit, so I don't know why I've got that penalty. I'm sure it'll get removed.
So you might get the position back.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think that, and then I was in the party with my teammate Chucky. Very unfortunate. He did an amazing race, and then I'm not sure what happened with the contact with Star Max Lord. I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, sad ending. But congrats on the podium again.
Cheers,
good
man.
points for the team and good points for you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Cheers, dude.
As we now want to talk to Star Max Lord, who finished P2 in the Alfa Romeo. Hello? Hi. Great race, great race. I don't know where you started, you know? Your grid position? Yeah, so 7. Great gain, and then the penalty at the end for the Williams gave you the big position. But as I heard, his penalty might get removed because it was a game bug, so yeah, let's see what that means. But still great points for your team and for yourself. Yeah. So what made it work for you? What was the strategy? I saw you racing with your team and close and like pulling each other with the DRS. Yeah. Seemed to work out great though, yeah. 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 Looked great, looked great. Yeah, it looked very decent for you guys in Alfa Romeo. Like you were 4-5 whole race, and then at the end the Williams DNF'd, so got a few more points in. I think that might be big, but it's only the second race, so there's everything open still, I think. But still a great effort. Congrats. Bye. So I think the last guy missing now is our race winner. But he's not in the lobby. Let's see if I can invite him though. Yes, I can. Yeah, Darkfly here. Was Darkfly if I'm not mistaken. Let's just wait for him real quick. And see when and if he is going to join. We can wait a few seconds. Let's just wait. But yeah, was a great Dutch GP. Great effort from Darkfly. He was on mad pace. Really good to see him. But at the end, all of these penalties just flew around the grid so much again, because it was just Darkfly and then Williams 2-3 and then Alfa Romeo 4-5, I think, and then at the end it was so messy, a lot of penalties. 2 people crashed out, and then Goyet got into contention for the podium again and spun out in the last lap. It was just so sad to see. So sad to see. I think Darkfly is just not joining us right now. I invite him one more time. And if not, then not. Let's just try to get the interview in. Is he joining or not? Let's wait one more minute. to maybe get an interview from our race winner. Okay, I guess he's not joining. Thanks everybody for joining. Was a great race. Great Dutch GP, first Dutch GP for F1 leagues in general, for our league especially. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Was a great stream. Tried my best to cast my first race ever. Hope you all were satisfied, and yeah, have a great day.